Welcome to Senior Health Video. This video will talk about 7 ways to survive when you are alone and have a heart attack. Have you ever wondered what would really happen if your heart suddenly stopped while you were home alone? It sounds like a nightmare no one wants to imagine yet. For millions of Americans over 60, this silent danger is not just possible, it's frighteningly common. Every year, doctors see patients who never make it to the hospital in time, and what's worse, nearly half of those heart attack deaths happen before help even arrives. That isn't an exaggeration, it's the reality inside every emergency room. Behind those closed doors are families' shattered lives cut short and moments that could have been prevented if only the victim had known what to do in those first critical minutes. Imagine this. A man in his late 60s feels a strange pressure in his chest while sitting in his living room. He tells himself it's probably just gas or fatigue. Minutes pass, the pressure grows, his breathing turns shallow and he starts to sweat. He reaches for his phone but hesitates, unsure if it's serious enough to call for help. By the time he decides, it's already too late. Stories like this repeat across America every single day, and they all share one painful truth: hesitation kills. The difference between life and death in a heart attack often comes down to what happens in the first 10 minutes. Those minutes decide whether the heart muscle survives or fails, whether the person wakes up tomorrow or becomes another statistic. Time is muscle. Every beat counts and every second of delay costs more than anyone can afford. But there is hope, and it's stronger than fear. Because there are simple science-backed actions anyone can take to survive, even when completely alone. In this video, you will discover exactly what those steps are. No gimmicks, no myths, just the real survival techniques that cardiologists teach their own patients. These are actions proven to keep blood flowing, oxygen moving, and consciousness intact until help arrives. So stay with us. By the end of this video, you will know how to fight back, how to stay alive, and how to turn panic into power when your heart is on the line. Number 1, call emergency services. Immediately. The first step that can decide whether you survive or not is the simplest one. Call emergency services the very moment you feel the warning signs of a heart attack. Most people over 60 hesitate. They tell themselves it is probably gas or stress and decide to wait it out. But waiting is the most dangerous mistake you can make. Every single minute you delay means more heart cells die. Cardiologists have a phrase for this: time is muscle. The longer the heart goes without proper blood flow, the more damage it suffers, and the lower your chances of walking out of the hospital alive. Across the United States, doctors see the same heartbreaking pattern. Seniors feel discomfort but try to stay calm instead of calling 911. They fear being embarrassed if it turns out to be nothing. They think they can tough it out, or they do not want to bother their family. That hesitation can cost a life. The American Heart Association reports that patients who call emergency services within the first 10 minutes of symptoms have up to 50% higher survival rates than those who delay. Still, nearly 1/3 of older adults wait over 2 hours before seeking help. 2 hours that can mean the difference between recovery and tragedy. Picture this. A 68-year-old man in Ohio finishes dinner and feels pressure in his chest. He sits down, drinks some water, and waits for it to pass. The pressure grows stronger, his breathing shallows, and a cold sweat covers his skin. By the time his daughter finds him, it is too late. The doctor tells her that one simple call to 911 could have saved his life, a call he never made. So if you ever feel crushing chest pain, shortness of breath, nausea, or cold sweat, act as if it is a heart attack until proven otherwise. Pick up the phone and call 911 immediately. That call is your first and most powerful act of survival. But knowing when to call is only the beginning, because what you do next could be even more critical to keeping your heart alive. Number 2, chew an aspirin. Immediately if available. After calling for help, every second still matters. The next move can literally keep your blood flowing until the paramedics arrive. Chew an aspirin right away if you are not allergic or restricted by your doctor. This tiny pill can act like a temporary lifeline when your heart is under attack. Heart attacks happen because a clot blocks the flow of blood to the heart muscle. Aspirin works by thinning the blood and stopping that clot from growing larger. The faster it gets into your system, the faster it begins to work. Most people swallow aspirin whole, but that can take 10 to 12 minutes to dissolve. Chewing it breaks it down instantly, allowing it to enter your bloodstream within minutes. Those few minutes can make the difference between surviving and collapsing. Studies published in The Lancet showed that taking aspirin during a heart attack reduced the risk of death by 23%. That is not theory, it is proven science. Picture this. A retired bus driver sitting alone in his living room suddenly feels crushing pain in his chest. He remembers his doctor's advice and chews a full 325 ml aspirin while calling 911. Paramedics later tell him that quick action kept his blood flowing long enough to prevent major heart damage. He walks out of the hospital 2 weeks later, alive and grateful. So keep a bottle of uncoated aspirin in an easy-to-reach spot such as your nightstand or kitchen drawer. That single habit can turn panic into power and buy you precious minutes. But only knowing this step is not enough, because what you do with your body in those same moments can make the difference between staying conscious and losing control. Number 3, loosen tight clothing and sit upright. Once you have called for help and chewed an aspirin, the next few minutes are still critical. What you do with your body can determine how much strain your heart must endure. Loosen any tight clothing around your chest, waist, or neck, and sit upright with your back supported. It may sound simple, but this single adjustment can ease pressure on your heart and lungs, helping oxygen move through your body more efficiently. During a heart attack, the heart struggles to pump blood through narrowed or blocked arteries. Tight clothing can restrict circulation even more, while lying flat makes breathing harder and increases chest pressure. Sitting upright allows gravity to work in your favor, improving airflow and lowering the heart's workload. Cardiologists often say posture is power, because how you position your body can either help your heart fight or make it fail faster. Research published in the European Heart Journal found that positioning patients upright during cardiac distress helps reduce fluid buildup in the lungs and improves oxygen delivery. Seniors who stay seated with loosened clothing remain more stable until medical care arrives. Imagine a 74-year-old woman in Florida feeling sharp pressure while gardening. Instead of lying down in panic, she moved to a chair, loosened her waistband, and sat upright, breathing slowly. Paramedics later told her that choice likely prevented her from fainting and collapsing before they arrived. So remember this: give your heart room to breathe and your body a fighting chance. Loosen your clothing, sit upright, and stay steady while waiting for help. But only knowing how to sit is not enough, because there is another surprising action that could keep blood flowing to your brain when everything starts to fade. Number 4, cough strongly if you feel faint. After adjusting your posture, your next focus is keeping blood flowing to your brain and heart while waiting for help. If you start feeling dizzy, faint, or your vision begins to fade, cough firmly and repeatedly. This technique is known among doctors as cough CPR. It may sound strange, but in moments when your heart rhythm becomes unstable, strong coughing can help maintain circulation just long enough for paramedics to reach you. Here is how it works. When you cough deeply, your chest muscles contract and your diaphragm tightens. This action builds pressure inside the chest, forcing blood out of the heart and toward the brain. Each strong cough acts like a manual heartbeat, keeping oxygen moving, even when your heart is struggling. Medical research from the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that repeated forceful coughing helped patients remain conscious during cardiac arrhythmias by maintaining blood pressure and brain oxygen levels. Think about this true story. A 69-year-old mechanic in Texas was alone in his workshop when he felt a wave of dizziness and chest pressure. He remembered reading about cough CPR. He took a deep breath and began coughing hard every 2 to 3 seconds. The paramedics later said those coughs likely prevented him from losing consciousness and suffering brain damage before they restarted his heart. He survived because he stayed alert through the power of a simple action. So if you ever feel your head spinning or your body weakening during chest pain, take a deep breath and cough hard and steady until help arrives. It is not a cure, but it can buy you precious seconds of life. Yet just knowing how to cough is not enough, because the next step is about making sure rescuers can reach you before time runs out. Number 5, unlock your door and keep your phone nearby. When a heart attack strikes, help can only save you if it can reach you in time. One of the most overlooked but life-saving actions is unlocking your door and keeping your phone close to you. It sounds simple, but in an emergency, every locked door, every lost second can mean the difference between rescue and tragedy. Paramedics are trained to break through barriers if necessary, but every obstacle steals time, and in a heart attack, time equals survival. Studies show that for every 10-minute delay in treatment, the chance of survival drops by nearly 10%. Many seniors collapse before unlocking their doors, leaving first responders forced to break in while precious minutes disappear. Those minutes are the ones that could have kept your heart beating. That is why doctors urge everyone, especially those who live alone, to make this one small change. Always keep your phone within arm's reach and your main door unlocked once you call for help. Picture an 80-year-old woman in Florida who felt chest pain one morning. She dialed 911, unlocked her front door, and stayed seated near the entryway with her phone on speaker. Paramedics reached her instantly and began treatment within seconds. She survived with minimal heart damage and walked out of the hospital days later. Another man in Arizona wasn't as lucky. He called for help but collapsed before he could unlock his door, costing him the minutes he needed to live. So remember, your phone is your lifeline, and your unlocked door is your bridge to survival. Keep both ready when every second matters. But knowing how to make it easy for rescuers to reach you is only part of the battle, because your next move can directly calm your heart and help it keep fighting. Number 6, take slow, deep breaths to calm your heart. Once you have ensured that help can reach you, the next critical step is to help your heart survive the storm happening inside your chest. Take slow, deep breaths to calm your body and mind. It may sound too simple to matter, but science shows that controlled breathing can lower stress hormones, reduce heart strain, and keep oxygen flowing where it's needed most. During a heart attack, panic is your biggest enemy. Fear triggers the release of adrenaline, which raises your heart rate, tightens your blood vessels, and makes the attack worse. Deep breathing slows everything down, telling your body to shift from panic to protection. Inhaling deeply through your nose fills your lungs with oxygen, while exhaling slowly through your mouth releases tension and stabilizes blood flow. A study published in the Journal of Cardiopulmonary Rehabilitation and Prevention revealed that slow, deliberate breathing improved oxygen delivery and reduced heart rate even in patients with advanced heart disease. Imagine a 76-year-old nurse from Michigan sitting alone when crushing pain struck her chest. Instead of panicking, she remembered her training. She sat upright, placed one hand on her stomach, and focused only on her breath. Inhale slowly through the nose. Exhale gently through pursed lips. She repeated it again and again until the ambulance arrived. Her cardiologist later told her those calm, steady breaths likely reduced the strain on her heart long enough to keep her alive. So if you ever feel that unbearable pressure or shortness of breath, focus on slow, deep breathing. It is not just air, it is survival. But even controlled breathing is not the final key, because your last and most powerful act could decide whether your heart keeps beating until help walks through the door. Number 7, stay as calm and still as possible. Now that you have taken slow, deep breaths and stabilized your body, there is one final rule that could decide whether you live to tell your story. Stay completely calm and still. When panic sets in, your first instinct might be to move to pace or to try and walk it off. But in a heart attack, movement can be deadly. Every step forces your already weakened heart to pump harder, using oxygen it no longer has. Stillness is survival. When the heart's blood flow is blocked, any physical effort increases the demand for oxygen and accelerates damage to the muscle. The European Heart Journal reports that minimizing movement during a cardiac event lowers complications and boosts recovery rates. Staying calm also controls your hormones. Fear floods the body with adrenaline, which tightens arteries and makes the heart fight harder. By remaining still, your body conserves energy, and your heart gets the best chance to keep beating until help arrives. Picture a 71-year-old farmer in Nebraska repairing his tractor when sudden chest pain hit him like a hammer. His first thought was to climb up the ladder to grab his phone, but he stopped himself, called for help from where he was, and stayed completely still. Paramedics later told him that this decision likely saved his life. By keeping his body at rest, he prevented his heart from collapsing under the strain. So if you ever find yourself in that terrifying moment, remember that calmness is your greatest strength. Breathe slowly, stay still, and let help come to you. But understanding how to survive a heart attack is only the beginning, because there is one final message that could change how you live every day after this moment. And there you have it. 7 simple but powerful actions that can help you survive a heart attack even if you are completely alone. From calling emergency services right away, chewing aspirin sitting upright, coughing when faint, unlocking your door, breathing slowly to staying completely calm and still, each step gives your heart the extra time it needs to keep beating until help arrives. Every one of these choices could mean the difference between tragedy and survival. But knowledge alone is not enough. What truly matters is being ready to act. You have the power to protect yourself starting today. Keep a small bottle of aspirin nearby, save emergency numbers in your phone, and remind your loved ones to learn these same steps. Small habits like these can save a life. Remember, a heart attack does not always give you a second chance, but preparation can give you hope when seconds matter most. If this message touched you or taught you something new, take a moment to save this video and share it with someone you care about. You never know whose life you might change. Tomorrow someone will survive because of the knowledge you shared today. Stay strong, stay prepared, and never forget that calm thinking and fast action can keep you alive. Your future is not written yet, and your choices today can rewrite tomorrow. If you want more practical health advice backed by science, subscribe now and turn on the bell so you never miss our next video. We will be covering the best daily foods that help strengthen your heart and protect it from future attacks. Thank you for watching, and take care of your heart because it takes care of you.